You're listening to the Sporting Life Podcast, brought to you by the Outdoor Group Incorporated, a passionate sporting life company for passionate sporting life enthusiasts. Visit us at theoutdoorgroupinc.com. My daily shows bring you the best celebrity entertainment and all things hunting and fishing.
You know, this is one that a lot of people have been kind of asking about. It's the Hecs suit.
Hi, I'm your host, Bob Svedich. Join me and my co-host, the gear guru, Jason Svedich, for today's gear review episode coming up right after Daniel Rodriguez sings his inspirational rendition of God Bless America, right here on the Sporting Life Podcast.
God bless America. Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam.
Welcome back to the Sporting Life Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Svedich. God bless America, and God bless all of you. We are bringing to you the best in celebrity entertainment and all things hunting and fishing every day at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to rate and review the Sporting Life Podcast, and don't forget to tell a friend about us. Now, in response to the number of inquiries I've received asking about the elk artwork that you see on this podcast, it is by renowned wildlife artist Ryan Kirby, and you can see more of his original oil paintings at ryankirbyart.com. For decades, Sporting Classics magazine is what I turn to after a day in the field. But now I spend as much time online reading Sporting Classics daily. You too can get a daily taste of Sporting Classics magazine online, and you can now hear the Sporting Life Podcast at sportingclassicsdaily.com. There are many country music recording artists, but there are only a few great singer-songwriters, and one of them is Lucas Hogue. Hi, I'm Bob Svedich, your host for the Sporting Life Podcast. Whether it's his evocative vocals or the emotional authenticity of his songs, Lucas Hogue is a great communicator and storyteller. But did you know that Lucas is also passionate about the great outdoors? His love of hunting and fishing has evolved into his own TV show called Hogue Wild, scheduled to air early 2020. For more information, visit lucashogue.com and hoguewild.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Lucas Hogue. My fans know I'm passionate about music, but I also want to let everybody know that I'm passionate about hunting and fishing and spending time in the outdoors. So tune in every day to hear the Sporting Life Podcast on iHeartRadio for the best in celebrity entertainment and all things hunting and fishing.
Welcome back to the Sporting Life Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Svedich. Well, today is Saturday, and that means you're at the right place at the right time for our highly anticipated gear review episode. The products we talk about are voluntarily provided to us by companies in the outdoor space. We have not been hired by these companies to promote their products, nor do we act as their spokesperson. Our comments about the products we review are from our own personal experience using them in the field. We'll give our honest, unbiased opinion so that you can be a more informed consumer. Now, to introduce my co-host for this episode. and to give him the proper introduction that he has so deservingly earned. Tim, music, if you would please. He is a former bull rider, martial arts competitor including weapons tactics, a former hotshot firefighter, successful entrepreneur, passionate hunter and fisherman, and the creator of an upcoming television series with our military veterans. Please welcome to the show the gear guru himself, Jason Svedich. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Jason, what might you have for us this week?
Well, I tell you, this is a big one. We're starting off at springtime. People are hunting turkeys. We just got out of predator season. So, this is one that a lot of people have been kind of asking about. It's the Hecs suit. I got sent out from Hecs. So this is innovation at its best.
I've heard so much about the Hecs suit, and I can't wait for you to share with our listeners what your experience has been. But what I've learned and what I've heard about it, just unbelievable. I mean, it's amazing how what you wear has an effect on how close you can get to game. It really is.
It is amazing. And I tell you what, I get it. Some things can be hard to wrap around your mind, especially with new technology. Some of this stuff is hard to make sense of. But one thing that's not new is the fact that animals can sense energy fields. Now the scientific studies have found that animals, birds, and fish can sense extreme low frequency electromagnetic energy. And, I personally know this to be true from working with horses and cattle my whole life. So it's technology that's pretty advanced, pretty hard to wrap your mind around, but it's the real stuff.
So they sent you out, what, a complete suit, or what did they send to you, and then how did you use it?
Yeah, so there again, they offer a bunch of different things, but what they kind of put together as a package for you. So it's a 3-piece camo outfit, consists of a head and face net, a full long sleeve shirt, and then a pair of pants. And then you can buy, hats and socks and gloves and those types of things. Now, they sent me out also socks, hat, and gloves. So the Hecs suit, the stealth screen Hecs suit, is a 3-piece camo outfit. And then you would, purchase whatever other things you would like. But what's neat is, this is a lightweight design. It's very, very easy to deal with, to use. It can go under, it can go over, it can do a lot of things. So let me kind of go into it here. So here's the deal. If your heart is beating and your muscles are moving, you're producing an electrical energy radiation that animals can detect. So Hecs technology uses highly conductive and interlocking carbon fiber grid to block your electrical energy. It's woven directly into all Hecs fabrics. They are lightweight, breathable, and durable. They are also machine washable and can be worn as a base layer or an outer layer. Hecs is not a magic, invisible cloak. It will not eliminate your scent, stop noise, or stop animals from seeing movement. By simply blocking the body's electrical output, you appear more like an object than a danger, ultimately allowing you to stay more hidden and get yourself set up for the shot that you want to take and the animal that you want to take. So it's really it's just an asset to have one. You still got to do all the rest of the things right. You got to watch your scent control. You got to watch your movement. You got to do all the rest of the things. But when you don't have that electromagnetic radiation coming off of you, these animals, they get in closer, they're more calm, they're not as weary, they're not looking around for that danger. They're just coming in normal and natural. And that's a big asset.
You know, it's an amazing thing, as I said, because so many times I've been hunting, I know you have as well, and you just wonder, how in the heck did they detect me? Because, you know, you take care of your scent control, you're not moving, you're camoed up, but then if you ask yourself, well, what are you wearing? Well, I'm wearing camo. Yeah, but I mean, does it permit, movement or not movement, but where it detects those energies that you're talking about? It's like you say, it's hard to get your head around, and I'm not a scientist, but one thing is for sure, there's a way in which to conceal energies from the human body that animals detect. And you know, we've both of us, we've had, you know, pets of all, including horses and dogs and cats and you name it. And really, these animals are so much more attuned to things we're not even aware of. So when you wore this, did you wear it out hunting in a hunting environment, or how did you use this?
Yeah, actually, so I took this on a few hunts. I took this on an antelope hunt. I took this on a couple of predator hunts, and then just most recently, I was able to actually wear this turkey hunting just a few days ago. And you know, it's really, like I say, it's really something else, because you know, you have to keep in mind those things I just said. You know, if you're moving around, if you're creating noise, if you didn't watch your scent control, then this isn't going to help you out that way. I mean, it's not meant for that. So once those other things are taken care of, one thing that hardly any of us think about is that electromagnetic radiation that we do emit. And so once all those bases are covered, you know, like with my turkey hunt the other day, I was able to call in a group of 5 toms, you know, right on top of me. And it's just amazing that when everything's done right, you're covered up, you know, you're camoed up, you're taking care of all the rest of the things, you can see the response in the animals that they're not sensing danger. They're not worried about those types of things. They're acting very normal. Now, I was calling in the turkeys, so they're looking for a hen. But what's nice is you can tell that they don't have a clue you're there. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty dang something else to see when you watch the animals work.
That's an amazing thing, because you know, you do a lot of elk hunting, and you know, to be on the ground and get close to an elk within 20 or 30 yards, bring them right in, wearing a Hecs suit, would be fantastic. And what can you share with our listeners, Jason, in regards to maybe a price point on this garment, and where they can get some more information?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so the 3-piece camouflage Hecs suit, the prices range from $179.99 up to $199.99, kind of depending on which one you go with. And then, you know, if you want to purchase, say, the cap, it's $19.99. Gloves, socks, things like that, they're $34.99 a piece. So pretty reasonable stuff. And you know, like I say, I mean, it's one more tool to have in the bag, so that when that time comes, you know, you've done absolutely everything you could do to put the odds in your favor. And as a hunter, that's obviously the name of the game. You know, if somebody's out there, they won't, you know, maybe they're bird watchers or just they love to photograph animals, this would be a great way to get yourself in tight, get some good pictures and that kind of a thing. So it's really a nice tool to have in the bag. Very easy to deal with. Like I said, it's lightweight, you know, washable. You know, it's pretty maintenance free. You don't have to do a lot with it in that way. And then to learn more about it, you know, just go to Hecs, HecsLLC.com, and you'll have all the information you need right there. Hecs is HECS LLC.com.
Well, that's fantastic. Before I let you go, Jason, I was up in the Rocky Mountain National Park last year during the fall, peak rut season, is about the third week of September. And so many people from all over the world go there to look at aspen trees and, the elk. They're bugling and they're chasing their cows and stuff. But there was a guy you had mentioned, shooting animal photos and taking animal photos. There was a guy up there, Jason, with a Hecs suit, and he was up there. And now you're not supposed to get too close to these. That's the law up there. They don't want you to get. But he had one of those on, and was able to get pretty darn close in taking photos. Now that you mention that, I remember seeing that. But so he knew the value of the Hecs suit, and he was wearing them to take photos of these elk up there.
Yeah, that's great. No, it is. It's fun. And I'll tell you something else. When I was field testing this, I kind of wanted to see what it was made of, so to speak. So on my antelope hunt, I found a bedded buck, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a few things here. I'm gonna crawl in. I'm gonna see what I can do. So what I learned is, and they've reaffirmed this. If you're moving in on game, you're making noise. There's movement going on, and animals are in tune to that stuff. So I wasn't, the buck ended up either hearing me or seeing me or both, and he stood up and then ran off. But when I would sit somewhere still, and I was, just blending into the foliage, you can see the difference in the animals doing it that way. But it was neat because I thought, well, let me see how much I can get away with here. And at the end of the day, they still see movement and all that. So it's really, when you're sitting in there and you're getting pictures or you're hunting and you're still, it definitely gives you an advantage that way.
You bet. Before I let you go again, give that website out one more time, Jason.
Yeah, so it's HecsLLC.com.
All right. Thanks so much. Great review, Jason. Look forward to talking with you next week.
I can't wait myself. Take care.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for today's show. But before I put out the campfire, I want to remind you all that you can hear a new episode of the Sporting Life podcast every day at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. If you happen to miss an episode or want to hear an episode again or want to download and share an episode, which you're welcome to do, you can find the Sporting Life podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Alexa, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Also, as an added benefit to my listeners, I have joined up with the crowdfunding website Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can have access to member-only content, ask questions to be answered on air, and receive podcast gear and more. Just click the link in the description below for today's episode. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. for another entertaining episode of the Sporting Life Podcast, the best podcast for hunting and fishing entertainment. I'm your host, Bob Svedich, saying thanks for listening, and please remember to always be a good steward of our land and water.